Hi, my name's Amy. Welcome to my Avon home. Come on in. This house is designated by the History and Landmarks Foundation as the Arthur's Johnson House. It was likely built between 1870 and 1873 by Sarah and John Arthur. It was actually built by John Arthur on land inherited from Sarah's uncle, Mr. Dixon, who I imagine that Dixon Avenue, just right across the road, is named after. So my husband Matt and I have lived here for 21 years, and we welcomed our kids here when they were born. We have done a lot to the house. We've really tried to keep it in character of a 150-year-old home in the Italianate style, but we obviously wanted to modernize it and make it a little bit more our own. After graduating from college, I was an art teacher. I was a high school art teacher and shifted into counseling, so I'm now a high school counselor, but this has really been my artistic outlet and my creative outlet through the years. So when we first moved in, the house was sort of a cream color with a slate blue architectural detailing, and it wasn't my style, but when you first move in anywhere, as you know, it takes a lot of time to get to the outside of the house. So eventually we got to the outside of the house, and what I selected was black for all of the columns, the corbels, and all of the architectural features. And I chose a sort of a grayishy dark green for the siding. And we had someone come and do it, and they did a great job. But I remember when it was done, I was in the driveway and I just started to cry, and I said to my husband, I don't think I like it. And he was very sweet, and he said, just give it a little bit of time, and if it ends up not being what you want, then we can change it. And so that just comforted me enough. Then during COVID and a lot of time at home, I decided I really think this needs to change, and I would like to try black. Because we had already invested in paying for it before, I decided that I would paint as much as I could. So, and that also allowed that if the black ended up to be a terrible idea, I could watch it happen and decide. I'm sure everyone has a different idea about it. Some people probably hate it, but we get so many positive comments. I absolutely love it, and I'm really proud that I did it with my two hands. And I think it's subtle, but I think the tonal shift between the satin finish on the columns and the flat finish on the siding is just enough to give it some contrast while still being sculptural. And then I love how when you come inside the house, you're sort of getting that same sculptural element, but you're getting it through white. And then obviously with black, we have the black ceiling, we have black furniture, and then black sculptural elements. So I feel like the inside and the outside really vibe with each other, and I think that kind of makes it a full experience, which I enjoy every day. We love to travel, and that's a big part of my upbringing as well as our fun together as a family. So what we've tried to do is collect things from where we've been and kind of bring them into our home. During college, I traveled in a program called Semester at Sea that went to 10 different countries. So that really sort of sparked my interest in global aesthetics. If you come on into the kitchen, this is a spot where we have done a lot of work and a lot of energy. One of the things that sold us on the house, even though it is on the busy Ohio River Boulevard, is this view of the city. And one of the main things that we did to really highlight that was we knocked out this wall and raised up the ceiling, and so that we could have just a complete view of the city and the river. And one of our favorite things is to watch the river change and the city skyline change. This is our living room / piano room, and there are a number of things in here that I really appreciate and enjoy. For years I worked at a store in the Strip District called Hot Hot Hot. It's still there. There's a number of things in here that I got from them, as well as in other rooms of the home, and the owners have always been so generous and kind to me and have really, I think, helped to establish my design aesthetic. The artwork above the piano is one that we got in Thailand. A few years ago, my family, I took sabbatical and we went to Thailand for 8 weeks. And that was one of the pieces that we found, and we were able to roll it up and get it on the plane and bring it home with us. In the 21 years that we have been here, there have been so many changes, and I think my style has evolved over time. Just understanding how to live in this space has changed over time. One of the challenges I've had is just the high ceilings. The ceilings are about 13 feet high downstairs and upstairs. And it does pose a little bit of a design challenge of where to hang things, what creates proportion and balance. And so I think living here for that amount of time and just trying different things and playing around has really enabled me to see what works and what doesn't work. When something is no longer working, I'll switch it with something else, and I have a basement full of things that come up and down as my moods change, and as I find something that see an idea that maybe sparks some interest or curiosity. And I do think that letting it evolve over time and not trying to have it all done at once does create a lived-in home, and it feels like you. So this door actually we put in, and our contractor said it's the tallest door he ever put in. And the one thing that really makes me laugh is we are not tall people. I'm 5'2", my daughter's 5'1", my husband's 5'9", and so this door and these ceilings, but it just kind of felt like the right thing to do. This side porch, actually, when we moved in, it was not here. It was just a concrete slab, and we saw pictures of the house originally, and we knew there was a porch here. And you could tell from looking at the front of the house that something was off, like it needed something here. So we worked with our contractor and rebuilt a porch here. That really was, I think, added to the whole, not only the exterior of the house, but also the living space and being able to be outside. So this is our deck, and our concept for our deck was to have an infinity deck. So you could basically just look like you were going right out to the water, but we really wanted to be able to have just clear sight lines out to the river. This is our little studio, and originally we heard this was the kitchen of the home. I'm imagining during times when cooking could create fires, they didn't want to have the kitchen inside the house. When we moved in, it was a shed that was just falling apart, random stuff, but we redid it, put windows in, put in all new drywall, and really made it a place where we could go and be creative. The room had wainscoting along the side that was kind of beaten up, but our contractor built us a table out of that wood so that we could still reuse it. And he built this concrete sink for us that we obviously use when we're out here. So it is a place where my kids, when they were growing up, would come out and do projects and make things and all kinds of stuff. And now it's just a nice respite from the house. And there's something that, you know, when you think of a studio, and I almost think about like Jackson Pollock, how he had a barn out in his backyard. There's something about leaving one space and going outside and entering another space that allows your brain to shift from home mode into creative mode. And so it actually worked out really well. When we were first looking for houses, we were looking for something with a third floor, so that maybe the third floor could be a studio. And obviously we ended up here, but when I saw this space and we were looking at the house, I thought, oh my gosh, this could really be something. And what's also really cool about it is it has a great view of the river and the trees, and just being out here is, and it's not a sunny day today, but when the sun is shining, the light in here is really beautiful, and it's just, you could be in here for hours and it could feel like 5 minutes. Everyone's house has a different purpose and a different meaning. For us, it really is like our cozy little hygge nest where we can just be together and enjoy the beauty of this home, particularly thinking about how long ago it was built. It feels like such an honor that it's still here and that we get to live here.